So I was just having a conversation on a podcast with my colleague Robert Payton from the agency Blueprint, and we were talking about authenticity in sales and how it's easy to come to a sales conversation with an agenda. And the agenda typically is how am I going to be able to convince this client? You know, the typical mindset of the salesperson makes an appearance in your mind uh, inadvertently almost. You know, we think it's kind of the default mode and we think that this is how we have to think. So what happens in that case? The mindset is that, you know, we're trying to lean into convincing, lean into swaying people, luring people that they should work with us. And it's to certain degrees. I'm sure that, you know, many of you will tell me, oh, no, I don't even try to do that. I'm so detached. But I could almost guarantee that deep inside you, there's still this little voice that will make you disappointed if you talk to a client a few times and then they decide to not work with you. No, it's always disappointing not to close a sale, to make a sale. So a few years ago, I found myself going through a period of time, going through a phase in my entrepreneurial journey where I was really plagued. I was really under the influence of that mindset. The sales guy's mindset in me was stronger than the expert in me. And I caught myself in conversations spending a great deal of effort, a great deal of time, effort, energy, convincing even myself that I should work with the client that was, you know, across the screen and work with me. And one day, as I was journaling, I do authenticity journaling every day. I was recounting, you know, one of the sales calls I had with myself. I was telling this to my journal, and I paused, and I thought, you know, another way. How do I? This is too much. First of all, I got aware that this was not a good mindset. It would just end up linking me with the wrong clients. I would, despite, you know, all my efforts, lose the sale. This is just toxic. This is just not good. And so I thought, what could I do um, to fix that. So if you can picture a continuum, you know, a double direction axis with two arrows, right? If you can see a continuum here, maybe on the right you have the sales guy's mindset of, you know, I really want to, you know, can be convincing and sell and close the sale, which is something that very few of us like to do, and we should not try to do. But we're just like magnetized. This is a very strong narrative in our professions, and we tend to want to lean there. If you have noticed this, it's an easy trap to fall into. And in the middle of the axis is more neutral, more detached, more respectful, more expert-like. And I thought that to help me with that you know, that problem, I would explore the other end of the axis, which would be actually you know, trying to deter clients to hire me almost. Maybe deter is a too strong of a word, but I was experimenting with going on sales calls and actually spending my energy listening carefully for signs that I should not work with my potential client, that I should not work with them. And that was a very scary approach, very especially it was a time when my business could have welcomed a few more clients, I would say, you know, probably needed the money. Um, and through that experiment, I realized that this was such a great learning experience because what it taught me is a few things. First of all, I felt more, I felt less convincing, less forceful, less trying to lure people, less charming, less, you know, I was not even trying to be eloquent or this kind of, you know, facade or mask that we're trying to put on in typical sales conversation. I was really trying to diagnose, and that led me to diagnose my client situation better. And and for some of the clients I talked to, I said, I really don't think I don't have enough signs proving me that I should help you, that I should work with you. And here is why, you know, and there were in some instances there were logical reasons why they should not hire me as a coach or consultants. The other thing I learned, so my diagnosis, became better. Um, I was more relaxed. The other thing I learned is that the more I was doing this, the more I was actually inviting my clients to tell me the truth. So we got into more real conversations because what they were sensing is that if I was, not ready to help them, and they were really, really wanting me to help them, then they had to deploy more effort to prove to me, to explain to me why I should take them on as a client. And so, it's kind of like we call it counter or indirect psychology, or I'm spacing the word right now. But it does the reverse effect. When you try not to come across as interested or needy, and you take more distance and you try to walk away from a relationship, the other person will tend to follow you more. Probably something you've noticed in other relationships. So that actually helped me, and actually helped me onboard more of the right clients more easily. So I'm bringing to you this experiment so that maybe you see that as a possibility to rethink your sales process, and almost see it as one of my mentors, George Cao, describe as the directors of admission mindset. If you try to be admitted into a school, you will have probably an interview or a set of interviews or a conversation with the person who manages admissions, typically the director of admissions. And what this person will do is two things. They will make you feel welcome. They will want you to be interested and motivated in applying to the school. But then they will challenge your application. If they do a good job, they will screen you. They will vet. Then they will make sure you're the right fit. Because if you don't spend your time and money and energy and life in the right school, it's potentially disastrous for you and for the school, because they don't end up with a motivated or good fit student, and that's not good for their reputation, for their program, for the other students inside the school. So this is another metaphor that George has to explain the same phenomenon that I have noticed and that I've been experimenting with. So I am not recommending that you lean to the other extreme of that axis, that line I was showing you here. Don't try to deter, still you should have an open for business sign on your business. You should tell people, hey, I'm welcoming you, I'm inviting you, I'm open here, I'm here to help you. But as it comes to really the moment where you have to interact with clients, slow down a little bit and look for the signs that show you that you should not onboard this particular person, this particular company, this particular business, this particular organization, whether you're a consultant, a coach, you work with strategy, IT, HR, whatever. Try to look for the signs that actually prove that they should not work with you. It may sound completely crazy, completely counterintuitive, but I guarantee you that this will bring huge benefits. I just listed them. Huge benefits to your business. Huge benefits to your business. It's going to be so much easier. And another thing I want to add is the reason why you should do this is because you will really align with the true narrative, the authentic narrative of an expert, right? I'll give you an example. As I have said in many others of my videos, my dad is a doctor, and one of the first things and he's a surgeon, and one of the first things that good surgeons do is to look for ways not to do surgery, because they know that surgery is very invasive. You know, it's a heavy process. You have to put people out. They are asleep. You know, medication, probably cardiac problems. Then you have to heal, and then there is a scar forever. So surgery should be considered only if necessary, right? And that's what true experts do, is they challenge the assumption that whenever they see a client, it's going to be a great fit. It's going to be a great fit. So I welcome you to experiment with that idea that if you're going to launch a service, launch a product, or you're getting in front of, you're considering working with the client, ask yourself and do it maybe more than usual for a while and experiment with this. Like, what are the signs that show you that you should not operate that client? You should not work with that client if I carry the metaphor here. What are the signs that tell you, I should not onboard that client. They should not work with me. And here is why. So now, what do you do after that? What are the next? So let's imagine that you've made a little list of the pros and the cons with each client. Maybe then you can speak your mind with your client and tell them, well, here are the concerns that I have if we work together. In my case, my typical concerns are going to be, well, you don't seem to have enough time to dedicate to focus on the work that we will be doing together. My fees are going to be a hardship for you. You know, your business is already not doing very well. So if you have to pay, you know, a few more thousands of dollars a month to work with me, it's going to add another load. So how do we together solve for these problems? Let's now go to the scenario where we work together. How would we troubleshoot together, right? And that invites your clients, and in my case, that invites always my clients to really have skin in the game. You know, show commitment, show that they are here to co-construct, co-build the right solution for them, So I hope this is helpful to you, and I hope that this is another way to demonstrate how an authentic approach to business can actually be so beneficial to you and your practice and your clients. And as always, I welcome your comments and questions here with this video. Thank you so much. I will see you very soon.